All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome in to this episode of the Red Friday Q&A live chat. I am Farzin Vasugian. I hope you're all inside staying warm because it is cold outside. It is cold. So yeah, too cold outside. So stay inside and let's have some hot takes. How about that? Let's have some hot takes. All right. Been a busy week for Kansas City. It's been a busy week for the podcast as well. If you haven't already, please check out my podcast with JJ Burton, Kendall Gaiman, and Jason Dunn. Those podcasts are up on all of our social media platforms. It's best to watch and listen to them through YouTube. If you prefer the audio versions, they're available on there as well. We had a little bit of an issue with the Kendall Gaiman audio, but we did fix that. That is up there. So check that out if you haven't done so already. A lot of great insight and commentary analysis from those three guys. JJ does a lot of great stuff. JJ doesn't do like a Chiefs podcast, but he'll chime in on his social media from time to time with commentary, and he'll even interact with Chiefs fans. Kendall Gaiman was the sideline guy for the Chiefs radio network and then made his way up to the booth. I believe he was the first person to replace Len Dawson. I say the first person to replace Len Dawson. He was the first color analyst after Len Dawson, the better way to put it. And Jason Dunn does a terrific job over at the Chief Concerns podcast. He also makes a lot of time for fans on social media. So if you want to ever ask Jason a question, hey, shoot him a tweet. He always takes the time to interact with people. Listen, I'm not a followers kind of guy. I used to be. I used to think that stuff matters. My friend Jody Mack, who I shouted out on the podcast with Jason when we were talking about Philly sports fans, because Jody Mack is a radio show host in Philly. He was part of CBS Sports Radio. Then it rebranded to Infinity Sports Network. Unfortunately, they were bought out by Westwood One, and he no longer is doing a national show on the weekends. So he's kind of a free agent on the weekends for right now. Hopefully he gets picked up real soon. He should be picked up real soon. That guy should definitely be doing a national radio show, but he was talking to the new group over at Westwood One Sports, and he said publicly that they asked him how many Twitter followers he has. I got a question. The Q&A is you guys asking me questions. This is a genuine question from me to you guys. Do you guys care how many followers somebody has? Because listen, this platform has grown a lot over the years. And I think, when you're at a low number and you're getting started, you certainly want to be up at a certain volume of followers, subscribers, whatnot. The YouTube one is the one that I'm trying to build up right now, and it has gradually built over the last several months during football season, and it's doing well in the off season as well. Off season for Kansas City, to be clear. And I don't know, like back when I thought followers was such a big deal, I'd seen platforms with 3 or 4 times of my following, but they hardly get any interaction. But at the same time, I think there's also something to it. Like Jason Dunn, he was an important part of the Chiefs offense in a very underrated manner in the 2000s. I think that guy should definitely have some Twitter followers. I don't know exactly what his Twitter handle is. I don't think it's just his name, Jason Dunn, but if you search Jason Dunn on X, you should be able to find his account. So definitely give him a follow on there. So Robert says, we don't care how many followers someone has. We love the content. I appreciate that. Jason doesn't care. So you guys really don't care about followers. Everyone's just shouting at greeting. Look at all these people bragging. 2 people from Florida, Robert from Phoenix. Give us the warm weather. We've got a snowpocalypse coming in 4 hours. Okay, be honest. How many of you over panicked and went to the grocery store and bought yourself a shit ton of things that you think you need for 2 weeks, but really you only need for 3 or 4 days? Well, listen, I got whatever I needed for as long as a week. Milk, eggs. I mean, I don't know. I think some people seriously over panic with this stuff. I know we're supposed to get 2 waves of snow. By the way, can someone explain something? See, I'm asking you guys questions. It's supposed to be you guys asking me questions. Can somebody please answer this? How is it that all 4 TV stations in Kansas City, they all have different projected snowfall totals in the area. Like, I get when predictions change, but then when they're all changing at the same time, they still have different numbers they're displaying. Like, what system, what are they looking at? What weather radar are they looking at? There's no way, like, the weather radar for all 4 stations can be that different. There's no way. It's not like sports where, okay, one analyst has a different prediction and the other's predicting something else. Like, no, that's not what this is. They're looking at a weather map. They're looking at a radar. How is it that one network says 6 to 9 inches and another one says 5 to 8 inches, and then someone else says 7 to 10? Like, come on. It makes no sense. The bar you work at has 13,000 followers, gets 5 likes a post. I have 700 friends and get 100 likes a post. Doesn't mean anything. It's quality content. Yeah, fair enough. And yeah, I think every type of content can be different. Like, if you're posting about food, that you can have a minimal amount of followers, but if your content's great and people love your stuff, you'll generate enough commentary or engagement. So I don't know, leave some toilet paper. Yeah. Remember when everybody was over panicking over toilet paper in the pandemic? My dad was at Costco in 2020, and he said that somebody in front of him set down a pallet of Clorox wipes. My dad couldn't give a damn about that. Everybody rushed to that pallet to collect however many they could collect, and the whole thing was gone within like 30 seconds. 2020 was a wild time, man. It really was. You're supposed to get 8 to 12 here in the DMV. What is DMV, Charlene? Dallas something? No, Dallas is DFW. I don't know what is DMV. Anyway, we're not here to spend too much time talking about the weather. You guys can always listen to that stuff elsewhere. So here's how this works. If you guys have any questions, comments, let me know your thoughts below, whatever you want to ask, and I will answer that. I'll just get this out of the way real quickly because we've been going pretty heavy on podcasts and live streams over the last couple of weeks. So I'm not going to give you guys too much commentary on this Red Friday Q&A live chat because that's how I start off every Q&A live stream. So if you guys missed it, it became official. The Chiefs officially said goodbye on their social media to Matt Nagy, and they officially made it official with Eric Bieniemy welcoming him back. If you're wondering why the Chiefs waited so long, here's how it's been explained to me. So the Chiefs Twitter account and all of their other social media accounts, they didn't say anything until today. And then Matt McMullen, who is an employee of the Kansas City Chiefs, he also technically cannot say anything until the team confirms whatever addition is made on the team. Basically how it's been explained to me in the past, and this is how the Chiefs do it. I remember when the Bengals gave out contract extensions to both of their receivers at the same time. The Bengals Twitter account had whoever runs that obviously has a good sense of humor. They just put a gif of the two receivers laughing and chuckling. Whereas the Chiefs, they're very conservative about that. They are very tight-lipped until, and I remember Josh Looney, who worked for the Chiefs, this is how he said it, ink is on paper, meaning they have actually signed the contract, signed, sealed, and delivered. So we finally got it now from the Kansas City Chiefs. They have confirmed, yes, Eric Bieniemy is indeed back here in Kansas City. Look, I'm not going to dive deep into why I like this because I've explained it many, many times. I'll just say top 6 in total offense and points scored all 5 years. You were not higher than 9th in total offense under Nagy in 3 years, nor were you above 15th in total points scored points scored on average with Nagy in those 3 years. So to me, it's and by the way, here's another thing to consider. Look at all the running backs, because Bieniemy did start as a running backs coach in 2013 with the Chiefs. And you had Jamal Charles. You had Spencer Ware, who was a good pass-catching running back in 2016. Charkandrick West did a really good job filling in 2015. You have Kareem Hunt, who led the league in rushing yards as a rookie in 2017. And so when Eric Bieniemy became the offensive coordinator, the offense, and yes, they had great players. I know a lot of people say, oh, well, that's the reason the numbers were so big is because they had prime Kelsey and prime Tyreek. Well, 2022, you didn't have Tyreek. And yes, Kelsey did have a record-setting year for a tight end that season. But Patrick Mahomes, he also had a record-setting year with 5,600 total yards. You don't get that just because Travis Kelsey is your star tight end. I mean, that was a season where the entire offense was clicking. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, Justin Watson, Juju. I mean, you had a lot of reliable players on offense that year. And all of those guys, except for Juju, who was replaced by Rashee Rice, they suddenly started dropping passes. You had two wide receivers in two different instances in these last 3 years line up offside. It was Toney in 2023, I think. Yeah, 2023. And then it was Hopkins in 2024 in his first game with the Chiefs, which made no sense at all. So, and listen, I know there's that report of how the wide receivers they basically got frustrated with Connor Embry. Actually, here's something that I was told today by someone within the Chiefs. Connor Embry, and I have this on pretty good authority. Connor Embry was not taken very seriously by the Chiefs wide receivers. He was not. Now, specifically why, I don't know. I could not tell you. Then listen, so a little backstory. Because someone made a joke about Connor Embry on Twitter, and I laughed at it. And somebody commented saying, "Hey, you shouldn't be laughing like that about your high school, a fellow high school alum of yours." Yeah, Connor and I did go to the same high school. His older brother Taylor, also same high school. Look, my job here is not to support someone just because they went to the same high school as me. And if you're wondering the backstory there, Connor's father, John, was the tight ends coach, John Embry. He went on to be the Colorado head coach briefly, and he's been the assistant coach. I think he's followed Mike McDaniel at a couple stops. Don't quote me on that. I know he was with the 49ers when the Chiefs played him in Super Bowl 54. But look, my job isn't to support someone on the team just because they went to the same high school as me. You guys know me. I will call a spade a spade. I'll keep it 100 with you guys every single time, because if I don't, I'd be doing you guys a disservice. So, and listen, I saw all the commentary. I've never once personally attacked the guy. I've seen a lot of people do that. I kind of felt bad a little bit for him. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, he was a college football player. He's coaching in the NFL. You got to have thick skin with that kind of stuff. Some of the things people said, man, pretty brutal. And listen, I'm not going to disagree with a lot of the criticism, because I think the tipping point for a lot of Chiefs fans on Connor Embry was that press conference he did where, and listen, I don't know if he was just nervous or if he was just having a bad day or if he was sick. I even said it on the podcast back then. I'm like, I don't really know what was going on with him. His answers were not very... You just couldn't give a vote of confidence to him with some of the answers he was given, because he was that was the year when they had a bunch of drops, and he was asked, "Hey, how are the receivers? The struggling. How do you overcome that?" He says, "Hey, well, we got these receivers because they're really good." That's a really interesting thing for a coach to say when you're leading the league in drops and it's impacting not getting into the number one seed. Now, it didn't hurt at the end of the day because they won a Super Bowl, but the offensive struggle has been on display these last 3 years. They have gone down each of the last 3 years. I mean, it's on paper. So that's why the change was needed. As far as Matt Nagy goes, let me ask you guys this question, because I asked it on social media. I'll ask it on here. How will you guys remember Matt Nagy for his second stint as offensive coordinator? Obviously, in 2022, when he was a quarterback's coach, hey, that was I think Nagy can make a great quarterback coach wherever he goes. He is still interviewing for offensive coordinator positions, most recently with the Philadelphia Eagles. They're interviewing a bunch of people for that job, which is pretty interesting. But the as a quarterbacks coach, I can say good things about Nagy. As an offensive coordinator, listen, I welcome the opportunity for him to get a second chance as an OC because I thought he did a good job in 2017, which led to him getting a head coaching job in Chicago. Listen, we can debate the Chicago thing all we want. Did he get a fair shake there? Mitchell Trubisky was his quarterback after all, and he found a way to make it to the playoffs and won Coach of the Year. I don't know. The way I see it, the Titans decided between him or Robert Saleh. They went with Saleh. The Raiders interviewed Nagy. They're not interested in a second interview with him. The Cardinals, another team that is really, they're bad. They did not even bother getting a second interview with Matt Nagy. So what does that tell you about Nagy and what he did as an offensive coordinator? Don't take it from me. Take it from the teams that the owners, the GMs that are going to make a decision on their next coach. And listen, we have 10, we're going to have 10 new head coaching hires. Not all of them are going to be good. In fact, with the way how you see all these coaches on a short leash. So you could argue that probably half of them will get fired before 2028. Actually, give me 2026, 27. I'll give it one more year, 2029. Because I think if you're going to give a head coach a fair shake, you've got to give them at least 3 full years. If they're absolutely terrible, okay, I can understand letting someone go in 1 or 2 years. But I think you've got to give a head coach 3 years to kind of install his offense and defense on the team. So just wanted to throw that out there. All right, I'm going to you guys now. I've done enough talking. Let's go to Anthony. You guys think it's panic here? These folks in Dallas cleaned out having other stores growing up in Casey. It's just standard weather. Dude, I get it, but I hate the cold. I hate the cold. I just stepped outside to take care of something in my backyard. Dude, I was ready to. I never moved quicker in my life. I was moving at Tyreek Hill speed, Xavier Worthy speed, to get the job done and get the hell back inside. I mean, I had a coat, I had a hat and all, so it wasn't enough. If you had to guess right now with EB being back and Chad O'Shea, what would you give the Chiefs record for next season? I don't know what their record would be. I mean, I know the schedule's not out, but the teams are. And it's always hard to say because, you know, teams are going to make moves and whatnot in free agency and the drafts. But I can say right now, I'm confident the Chiefs will be at least a double-digit win football team. I can say that bare minimum for the Chiefs for 2026. They're all using different weather models. How different can they be, though? I don't know, man. I'll never get it. Toilet paper after every kick. Are you referring, Benjamin, to there was somebody DMC as DC, Maryland, Virginia? Okay, thank you. Did not know that. Now I learned something today. Where was the previous comment? Oh yeah, there was a fan. I think it was in 20. I can't remember what year it was. One of the long playoff runs the Chiefs had. Somebody claimed that their wife brought in a bunch of toilet paper under their coat, claiming they were pregnant. And anytime an extra point or a field goal was being made, somebody in the crowd would toss toilet paper across the seats. And it was happening every single PAT and field goal. Apparently, they would actually go to the other side to be ready for a potential kick. I'm like, that is some serious dedication. They didn't do it for just one playoff game. It was multiple playoff games. That was some serious dedication. People taking toilet paper, but no food. Yes. Gotta have the toilet paper over the food. My parents hoarded 20 plus multi-packs of Charmin toilet paper, over 40 gallons of water. Good Lord, man. Listen, I get 2020 was such a wild time. Like, nobody had any idea what was going on or what was going to happen. There was a lot of uncertainty. But damn, man, like, and it's funny because I remember the White House, they were doing like a joint press conference, and I can't remember who the joint press conference was with, but this guy was at the podium and he's like, if you're taking more toilet paper than you need, we're coming for you. Sure. Like, how are you going to police that? Are you going to go through every single person's credit card record and see what they're buying? Like, come on. What were you even talking about? See, that's what I thought when I saw DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles. That's what I thought. My poor wife is leaving a nice 70-degree Arizona and going to Des Moines to a crisp 14 degrees for a business trip. When is she going? You guys would rather talk about the weather than football. Okay, I'm good with that. Robert, I don't know when she's leaving. If it's supposed to be tomorrow. Now, here's the weird part. Usually the big snowfall is more up north than it is south. It's the opposite now. The south is getting, or supposed to be getting, more snow than the north side. Like Texas and Oklahoma, I mean, they're supposed to get hit with an avalanche, unlike Kansas City and Iowa. So I don't know what Iowa's snowfall total is supposed to be. Tomorrow's supposed to be like a really bad day for the entire Midwest. Well, technically midnight. Well, yeah, that's still tomorrow, but soon is what I meant to say. Every day, yeah, Mario, we're going every day. I was not anticipating to go every day. You know what? Listen, let me just say this. This is how much we took the playoffs for granted. I had some big content ideas for the playoffs back in August. I'm pushing that back to next year. We are tabling those ideas. But you always have to expect the unexpected. And back then, I thought to myself, if the Chiefs miss the playoffs, I don't think it's going to be as quite of an offseason than some might think. So you're going to have some activity because they're going to change coaches and players. And so far, you've seen some activities with coaches. So it is it's been a busy offseason, much busier than I anticipated. And listen, if you guys like all the content, that's what matters. Because if no one's watching this, doing all of this is pointless. So I appreciate you guys. Lori says, I just heard Ravens requested to speak to Joe Cullen. Yes, we did share that. Joe Cullen, the defensive line coach, he was the defensive coordinator of the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2021. I think that's when Urban Meyer was there. He was let go along with the rest of the coaching staff, made his way to Kansas City in 2022. Before that, from 2016 to 2020, Joe Cullen was the defensive line coach for the Baltimore Ravens. So he has experience coaching in Baltimore. Yes, it's going to be under a much different staff this time. Harbaugh's not there, but still, familiarity with that organization. Ownership loves that stuff. And on top of that, he's been a defensive coordinator before, albeit just for 1 year, but he still has that 1 year of experience. So the Ravens certainly see some value in Joe Cullen if they are considering him to be their defensive coordinator. And I think, does he have a connection of some sort to Jesse Minter? Let's see. Yeah, he does. They work together in Baltimore. So Cullen was there from 2016 to 2020. Minter was there from 2017 to 2020. So they spent a good amount of time together. Listen, man, it's not what you know, it's who you know. That's how you get these jobs. And listen, I will say this. I know the defensive line performance has not been great these last couple of years. But I will say, man, if you guys have ever gone to training camp, when they do position groups, position drills and whatnot, the defensive line group is always close to where the fans sit, or at least where the majority of the fans sit. It is a lot of fun watching Joe Cullen. Joe Cullen is the defensive version of Eric Bieniemy, where he's getting after guys, yelling at them. He's a lot of fun to watch in practice. He really is. So, I would be bummed out if they actually lost Joe Cullen this offseason. I'd be bummed out for sure. Benjamin says, Patrick, Nagy did not make you a better player in any way, shape, or form. Okay. So for those who don't know what that's in reference to, Patrick Mahomes took to Instagram today because the Chiefs made it official. He thanked Matt Nagy, said Matt Nagy made him a better player, better person. A lot of people accused Mahomes of going full PR mode in that one. Not my words, your guys' words. Listen, Patrick and Matt do have a great relationship off the field. We've talked about that. So the last thing Mahomes is going to do is say, hey, you made me look like shit the last 3 years. I mean, you're just not going to get that from Patrick Mahomes. Here's something I want to ask you guys, because I talked to Jason Dunn about this. The last time the Chiefs had a fullback, and I'm saying that because Mario mentioned Anthony Sherman in the comments. The last time the Chiefs had a fullback was 2022. That was Michael Burton. That was also the last year the Chiefs had Eric Bieniemy as their offensive coordinator. Now that Eric Bieniemy's back, would the Chiefs consider bringing back the fullback position? Because if you do that, you're going to have to probably go with one less wide receiver. And I know the Chiefs felt good about their wide receiver group last season. And within reason, because I thought they had a very talented group of wide receivers. I still think they're a talented group. Just think they need better guidance. So we'll see how that goes with O'Shea. Joker. I already answered that. I lost where I was. There we go. Why are the Chiefs waiting to hire a running back coach and announce Chad O'Shea? That I don't know, but I would imagine if they just announced Bieniemy, the O'Shea news should be very soon. Usually they don't announce the position coaches until like later in the offseason. Be rest assured that O'Shea's on the team. Just be very clear about that. Because I heard Mark Borector on local radio say something about him. Kendall Gammon and Jason Dunn, who both know Chad O'Shea from 2003. They were on my podcast and they talked about it. So he's on the team. If he wasn't, I think those players would be very hesitant to say anything. Gronk, who was on Kay Adams' show and was in New England when Chad O'Shea was there, he even talked about Chad O'Shea. By the way, Borector and Gronk both referred to Chad O'Shea as Chadio. I guess that's his nickname. Chadio, Gronk praised him, saying that he is responsible for Julian Edelman's career in New England. Oh, by the way, Julian Edelman in a very low-scoring Super Bowl in Super Bowl 53 was a Super Bowl MVP that year. So that's great news for Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy, who haven't made the greatest progress. Now, with Rice, yes, there have been some injuries, and same for Worthy this year with that shoulder injury from the very first game, third snap of the season. But the Rice thing, part of it is his fault with the suspension. This is one of those situations where Rice and Worthy, they need a Chad O'Shea on the team. Listen, again, I know he's taking a lot of flack, but let's, again, call a spade a spade. Let's be honest here. Chad O'Shea over Connor Embry, that is an automatic massive upgrade. You are fooling yourself. You're lying if you say otherwise. Hello from Las Vegas. I love Las Vegas. I love how nice you guys are to one another. You guys are interacting with each other, saying hello to each other. We are building a community. I mean, you guys have been around for a while now, but it's getting to the point where you guys are getting to know each other. I love that. Pretty soon, you're going to see, you're going to see someone date someone from my comment section. That's going to happen. Our Facebook page could be the new Hinge. Any rumor about who the Chiefs are interviewing for a running backs coach? No, we do not have any information on that, which is actually strange. Very strange. Raiders should hire Nagy as a head coach. I agree. Not happening. That is not happening. When the Raiders don't want you as a head coach, that's bad. And this is a team that's changed head coaches 16 times since 2000. The Pete Carroll firing was surprising to me 1 year. Look, I said last offseason, if you're going to hire a 73, 74-year-old, I guess it's worth it to be Pete Carroll. But now the reasons for firing him, he's old. You knew what his age, it's not like he went from 50 to 74 in one offseason. You knew you were hiring a guy in his 70s. Now, this was a really abysmal year for Pete Carroll. He fired 2 coordinators. They fired Chip Kelly. They didn't even let Chip Kelly and the special teams coordinator finish the season. Chip Kelly was the highest paid assistant coach in football this past season, and he got fired before the end of the year. The last 2 head coaches, Pete Carroll and Antonio Pierce, and I'm only talking about Pierce as the full-time head coach, not as an interim. They didn't even last 365 days as the head coach of the Raiders the last 2 years. So whoever the next Raiders head coach is going to be, probably going to get hired after the championship, after Championship Sunday or after the Super Bowl, because rumor is Tom Brady really likes Clint Kubiak, the offensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks. So, and I think the Seahawks win, but don't dismiss the Rams either. So you're not going to hire a coach until late January at the earliest. Are you going to fire this guy the first or second week of January? Because the Raiders just go through a convention of head coaches. I mean, they used to wait 2 years. Now they're going 2 years in a row, 1 year on guys. Listen, as a Chiefs fan, I think it's hilarious. But as a fan of football, how in the hell do you expect to even do anything? Anything. If you're going to fire coaches year after year. You didn't even give Josh McDaniels 2 full seasons. Not that I think he earned it anyway, but give someone 3 years. Give somebody 3 years. And this doesn't go just for the Raiders. This applies to a lot of teams. Greeny mentioned this on ESPN earlier this week. We've had 18 different head coaching firings in the last 2 years. Like, come on, man. That is remarkably insane. That's more than half the league. And I think that does include a team like the Raiders that's done it 2 years in a row, but still, like, that is astronomically high. Yeah, the toilet paper toss. Sundays when your wife's leaving? Ooh. Brad says global cooling. What is the weather exactly like right now in good old Kansas City? It is 9 degrees. I hate that shit so much. Oh, man. If it stays this cold, we won't get as... Imagine if there was an AFC Championship game in Kansas City this year. If it stays this cold, we won't get as much snow as people think. You know more than me, so I'll take your word for it. As a trucker who goes home every Friday, I opted to stay out on the road to get as far ahead if the storm as humanly possible. It's supposed to be brutal back home. Props to you, man. Yeah. Listen, there are some people who have to work regardless of what the weather is like. And if you're one of those people, props to you. I've been there. It ain't fun. Appreciate that, Mario. So what's your prediction the way they'll go with a majority of our draft picks? It's really hard to say right now. Because again, I'm not expecting a busy free agency from the Chiefs. Here's what I will say is I think you're going to see a lot of balance, meaning right now you have 6 draft picks. I think you'll get a couple of compensatory picks from the Justin Reed and the Turk Wharton signings from last year. Trent McDuffie, I think, is serious trade bait. I know people don't like to hear that, but that is a valid thing to just be aware of right now. I will say this. I don't think there is too much on offense you need to address. Your wide receivers for right now, let me pull up our lads. Because you have Xavier Worthy, Rashi Rice, Jalen Royals. You'll obviously need some wide receivers. I think you might have someone undrafted be a part of your depth chart next year. I think Tyquan Thornton can come back on a cheap deal. I think your offensive line is in a really good place. You just need a new right tackle line. I think they're ready to put Jalen Moore in there. Esapole, I think, is another guy that is a serious candidate for right tackle. Running back, that's another position to look at. I think Travis Kelce's coming back. The reason he can't say, I know he maybe unintentionally gave that away this week, but he's got to wait for the salary cap because the Chiefs have a lot to figure out by the time they bring back Travis Kelce. So I don't think they have a lot of positions they need to fill on the offensive side of the football. Probably an offensive tackle in the 3rd round or the 4th round, just for depth purposes there. Probably going to get a wide receiver in day 3. Running back, if Jeremiah Love is there early, maybe you can get him at 9 unless you trade up. But I think a majority of the draft picks will be on the defensive side. You're gonna, for right now, your free agents are Mike Edwards, Brian Cook, Jalen Watson, Josh Williams, Nazeeh Johnson. Trent McDuffie is supposed to be a trade candidate, like we said a moment ago. I mean, there are going to be a lot of new faces in that secondary, kind of like how it was 4 years ago in 2022 when the Chiefs did draft a bunch of defensive backs that year. A lot of Rashad Fenton and L'Jarius Sneed were your experienced defensive backs back then, or I think just for the quarterback position. And Rashad Fenton only had like 3 or 4 years of experience back then. So you had an extremely young group of cornerbacks back then, and they thrived and did great. They really did. So Veach might need to have he needs to have a very similar draft to 2022, where this is going to be a draft where you're probably going to see some defensive backs. I would imagine they want to try to bring someone on that defensive line. If they have Reuben Bain Jr. or David Bailey, boy, it'd be hard to say no to those guys at number 9 if either of them are available then. So we'll have to see how that goes. I know they really like Cooper McDonald, who did a great job on special teams this year. Jeff Bossa, he's got some upside. I don't know what it was with the rookies not getting a lot of playing time on the defensive side of the football this year. Playing time on both sides was very suspect, but let's see how it goes. Tony Richardson and Kimball Anders were monsters to deal with. Yeah, I would love to see the fullback position back. I'm a big fan of the fullback position because I think it does good things for your rushing attack. And even though I know people make such a big deal about Andy doesn't run the ball. No, he does run the ball. He just doesn't do it as often as some teams do. But he still operated the offense with a fullback in years past. So if Eric Bieniemy comes back, do they bring back the fullback position? I hope they do, because I think that might have been missing for Kansas City these last 3 years. Farzine, what was the temperature like when you were in Vegas? I want to say 50s and 60s. Like, it wasn't terribly bad. I had my big jacket coming from Kansas City, and then that stayed in my luggage all the way until I left. I had a hoodie on me just walking around Vegas. It was not bad at all. The weather in Vegas for New Year's, I was not there on the actual New Year's Eve, but I got there on the first day of January. And was there for 4 days, I think. It was bad. Not bad. Not ideal for me, but for early January, yeah, I'll take that. I will take that 100%. You would have to change the name of Plenty of Fans to Plenty of Fish. I'm sure there's an OnlyFans reference in there as well. Cloudy and 68 here in San Diego. I couldn't handle your weather. No, I cannot handle this weather, and I live here. Kelce has to accept the team-friendly contract. I agree. Will he, though? And I know people make a big deal. He's about to marry a billionaire. Will he do it? I don't know. Man. He was severely underpaid and willingly so for so many years. It was not until these last 2 years where he actually got a big fat contract. We are 50 to 60 million over the cap. Stop talking about Tyreek Hill, please. Yeah, a lot of people are convinced Tyreek Hill is coming back. And I do agree. Like, again, he's got a lot of kids, so you need a lot of money. I don't think he's coming back here. Yeah, over the cap, that number seems to change a lot. Let me see the NFLPA salary cap report. NFLPA salary cap report. By the way, I appreciate you guys watching on TikTok. I know I'm not paying too much attention to the chat on there. So according to the NFLPA salary cap report for 2025, which obviously the regular season's over, the Chiefs have the lowest salary cap with a total of $335,710. Second fewest, the Dallas Cowboys, just over $400,000. The Chiefs had a total of 73 contracts. Yikes. Denver had 81. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I misread that. It's Denver at $400,000. Dallas is at 22 million. Okay, yeah, Jerry Jones is a cheapskate. We know that. I'm kidding. He's not a cheapskate. I'm kidding. Kind of. How much more upside do you think Kingsley has at guard? I like him as a run blocker. I think he's actually an underrated run blocker. But I know that's not really a priority in Kansas City. I thought he was inconsistent at times. I think he was way better this year than last year. Like, as a tackle, the dude looked lost. He was awful. Like, really, really, really bad. As a guard, I think he's got an opportunity to have a really good career as an offensive guard in the NFL. Whether he starts games or he happens to be the number one backup on both sides of the guard positions, I think he has that potential. I think he still has room to grow. Like, if we were going to do Madden ratings on this, I'd put him at high 70s. I think that's fair. Because if I had to give him a grade last year, dude, it'd be like in the 50s. There's no way you could even convince me it's 60 or above. Not even close. So, and listen, you don't want to just give up on your second round draft pick that fast. You're investing a lot in a second round draft pick. They traded up. I know it was just one spot, but you still traded up to get him because somebody else wanted him. So, I hope he improves, man, because they really need him. Was it your first time at Arrowhead West? No, that was actually my 5th time there. I've been there for 3 Chiefs Raiders games, and I've been there for 2 concerts. By the way, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I will comment with that right there. So if you haven't already, please click on it. If you've already subscribed, please let a friend know about it. The Chiefs Zone on YouTube. Listen, I like Allegiant Stadium. I've been there, like I said, 5 times for games. I've also been there for a tour of the stadium. Listen, I've been to Arrowhead a couple of times for a tour. By the way, shout out to Lee from the Chiefs. He's an ambassador for the Chiefs. He gave my brother and I a private tour once. He knew who I was. He follows me and listens to the podcast. So shout out to him. I've given him a shout out before, but I have to mention him again if I'm going to get on this topic here. Listen, Arrowhead, there's nothing great about Arrowhead, the structure itself. It's the environment that makes it special. And I know a lot of you guys don't like hearing this, but that is a stadium that needs serious upgrades. And it's not something that a renovation can really fix. I know the mayor will say otherwise, but won't provide any evidence to back that up. Look, the Chargers have a brand new stadium. The Raiders have a brand new stadium. The Broncos, their stadium is not terribly old, and they're already interested in a brand new stadium. They're already looking into getting a brand new stadium. So your entire division is going to have a brand new stadium by 2031 or 2032, probably. And you're seeing more and more teams get indoor stadiums now. Again, whether you like that or not, that's up to you. And for anyone who says football is meant to be played outside, okay, yeah, sure, have that argument all you want. What I will say is this, because when I was at the game, someone behind me was talking about how when I was at the Chiefs Raiders game, to be clear, somebody behind me mentioned that it was raining outside. Listen, man, I do not want any part of the rain when I am at a sporting event. I want to enjoy the game. And I'll tell you right now, I'm pretty glad I was inside a dome. Thank you, Raiders. Thank you. Thank you, Davis family, for that nice stadium for us to enjoy. Because I've seen a couple of comments. People have said back when we didn't know what the Chiefs were going to do. I've seen a few comments say, "Oh, I've been to Allegiant Stadium. It's miserable watching a game there." How is it miserable? I've been there for 3 games. It was miserable most recently because all I watched was field goals and a safety. It was miserable from that perspective, and even more so because the Raiders kicked a game-winning field goal to win it. I suppose it helps the Chiefs because they have the number 9 pick anyway. But listen, it's a great experience, and I will say this: not to say the Arrowhead staff is awful, they're not. Dude, the staff at Allegiant Stadium, they are painfully nice. Like, when a family friend that you really love and you haven't seen in a long time, and they're hosting you for a big feast, and they show you all the love and kindness in the world. That's how I feel about Raiders employees at Allegiant Stadium. I'm like, damn, man. I mean, listen, I know a lot of ushers at Kauffman, Arrowhead, and all these other stadiums. Their job is to be welcoming and be friendly and whatnot. But, dude, Allegiant Stadium takes it to another level with the friendliness. That's refreshing, especially for a team that's known to have a not so friendly fan base. Do you like Esapole? I do. I thought he did some great things in the games he played this year. I think that's I don't want to say a cornerstone player, but a player that can be a part of your future. Now, what happens to Jalen Moore after next year? Because next year is the final year of his contract. I would imagine Jalen Moore is going to be your right tackle. After that, is Esapole going to be the starting right tackle for the future? What about your left tackle, Josh Simmons? Look, Simmons is a monster when he's on the field, but he missed 4 games due to a personal matter, and he missed the remainder of the season due to a wrist injury. It's hard to say if he would have come back or not if the Chiefs were in the playoffs, but he's had a season-ending injury 2 years in a row. The knee injury at Ohio State, missing out on a national championship run, and this past year with the Chiefs with that wrist injury. So Esapole is on speed dial for next season if the Chiefs need him to fill in. And let me just make sure, is he under contract for 2026? Because I want to be very clear on that. Yes, he is. He is under contract for 2026. What does Esapole's contract look like? Okay, it's through 2026. So, and he is 24 years old. When does he turn 25? I mean, he's still fairly young. It's not that big of a deal, but he turns 25 on July the 4th. So we'll see what he does. Yeah, I said earlier, I think the fullback position is something to consider because that last existed when Bieniemy was last OC in Kansas City. And I think that might help the running game. Brian says football is meant to be played outside when the championship and Super Bowls were played in December, not February. And yeah, I mean, you have a point. And now with the Super Bowl, they either go to a warm weather state or they make sure they're playing the Super Bowl indoors. So, yeah, again, I mean, have whatever opinion you want about whether football should be played indoors or outdoors. We're getting more and more indoor stadiums. We have 30 NFL stadiums, 2 teams or 4 teams share a stadium. The New York team share a stadium, and the LA team share a stadium. So by 2031, if the Broncos and I believe it's the Bears, if they follow suit, by 2031, more than half the stadiums are going to be indoors. I mean, 10 years ago, I don't think we had 10 indoor stadiums or even close to that. We're getting more and more indoor stadiums, whether people like that or not. So that is a big adjustment we're seeing in the sport now. Vegas is hospitality driven. I'm sure they are nice there. Not every spot in Vegas you get good service. I mean, there are some servers and bartenders that they look like they don't want to be there. Let me just put it that way. So for me, it's always refreshing when I come across a server in Vegas that really gives a shit. So I'll give you an example. We celebrated my mom's birthday in Vegas, and the server who was there, I can't remember. I think it was, hold on. I have to look this up because they have some damn good pancakes. Restaurants, Venetian. It's killing me. Like I have to find the name of this place. I'm on the Venetian's website looking it up right now. Yardbird. Yardbird is what it is. Yes. Yes, Yardbird. Dude, my brother had the chicken and waffles. He loved that. They've got some great pancakes over there too. But anyway, the server over at Yardbird, super nice guy. Like he actually gave a damn. He was actually asking if anyone has allergies, any things like that. And he asked the exact same question to the table next to us. And someone said yes. I think they mentioned they had a peanut allergy. So he like in great detail, like with a razor, just went through in great detail what that person can and can't have. It's like that person gives a shit. It's actually really refreshing when you come across people like that in the hospitality service industry. I was in Vegas in August. I saw a guy get ran over by a car. Wow. He got up immediately and threw a drink at the car. Okay, well, I mean, I think that person deserved it. I'm against vandalism, but come on, it's like, by the way, speaking of that, in Vegas, they have driverless taxis. It's kind of like Uber. I don't know exactly how it works. I looked up a YouTube video and I was paying attention to people. People use it more frequently than you would expect. I was at New York, trying to get an Uber, and while I was waiting, there were like 3 driverless taxis that came by. Basically, what you do is the driverless taxi will pull up. You're going to be on a website or an app on your phone. You're basically going to say, "Oh, hey, I see my driverless cab," and you go in. As soon as everyone boards the driverless cab, I guess you hit a button on your phone and the doors will close. You can adjust the heater, the cooler, whatever you want to do until it takes you to your destination. I actually saw a clip on TikTok. One of those driverless cabs just all of a sudden stopped moving in the middle of an intersection. I'll tell you right now, dude, in Vegas, especially at night when it is busy as hell, if you are stuck in the middle of an intersection, no one's stopping for you. They don't care if it's a driver or if it's driverless. I think we're getting a little too crazy with technology here. Let me see if I can find a clip of it and share it with you guys. That's me at Allegiant Stadium. Where do I stay when I'm in Vegas? The Venetian. Okay, I found a clip. Let me. Let me send it over here. My max in Vegas is 3 days at a time after I'm kind of over it. Yeah. It's funny. I was there once for a week and I scheduled this trip long before the NFL schedule came out. And it just so happened that I was leaving a day before the Chiefs and Raiders were going to play in Vegas, the same weekend when the Chiefs did the merry-go-round that weekend. So, yeah, a week is a long damn time in Vegas. I agree with you. 3 days max. That's a good time. It can get pretty pricey. I mean, listen, a lot of big tourist places like Vegas, LA, New York, I'm sure they're all like that. By the way, I finally picked a hotel in New York. I'm literally like between Times Square and the Empire State Building. If you guys know of any great spots for food in New York City, please let me know. I've been to New York, but it was only at the airport. So that was like when I was only 2 years old. My parents and I were coming to the United States. We were at the airport. That was our first landing spot in the US. And then that took us to Kansas City. But other than that, which I don't even count, I've never been to New York. So you guys let me know if there are any good spots in New York City that I need to be aware of. Why is this taking forever to transfer on my phone? Maybe I'm just going to have to show it up to the screen here. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It's called Zoox, Zoox. I guess is how you pronounce it. So that car door is open for a long time. I'm guessing they're trying to figure out how to close it. There, it's finally closed. And again, there's no driver there. And it's not even moving. Because I think with AI and whatnot, it's trying to take its time and make sure it's like being ultra safe. There you go. Now it's moving on its own. And you can see the cameras right there that help dictate when it should and shouldn't move. But yeah, it's called Zoox, Zoox. If any of you guys are interested in that. The pizza and the bagels. Yeah, okay. Let me know about the pizza. Because I heard New York is the spot for pizza. You like dirty, grimy Vegas casinos off the strip? So my brother and I, my family and I are Vegas Golden Knights fans. My brother and I went to the Vegas team store just to see what they had and all. I did not realize the team store is also the same place where the Vegas hockey team practices. And not only that, they have, kids practices, high schools. I mean, they have a bunch of, they use it for a bunch of different people, not just the NHL team. And that's, so there have been only a couple of times I've gone off the strip, excluding downtown, because a lot of visitors are in the downtown area. I went to a sports bar called Blue Diamond Saloon in Vegas. That was a Chiefs bar. Unfortunately, to my understanding, that bar has closed. Don't know why. That's an all right. I mean, it's a dive bar. Wasn't anything too special. That was actually the same game when the Chiefs beat the Chargers, and Ryan Fitzpatrick beat the Patriots to help the Chiefs get the 2 seed. That place erupted when Fitzpatrick threw that touchdown pass. Let me see if I can pull that up, because I do have a clip of that. It's not what I wanted to do. Let me see if I can find that. Damn, man, I was overweight that year. I'm trying to find. Why can I not find it? There we go, I think. Okay. Okay, so this is everyone's reaction when Ryan Fitzpatrick threw that touchdown pass against the Patriots. Hopefully you guys can hear this. Obviously, I lost it at that point. Dude, everyone went fucking nuts when Fitzpatrick did that. Yeah, that was insane. Wasn't Waymo the one that kept doing circles in a parking lot? I don't know. Sounds like something that would happen with these kinds of things. Little Italy, great restaurants. Okay. Vito's Sandwich Shop. And you guys are always coming through with the wreck. The Hershey store and the M&M store, exclusive treats in Times Square. Oh, I thought you were about to say the one in Vegas, because I've been to the one in Vegas. I wouldn't get in that. No way, Zooks. Yeah, I don't trust that shit either. I don't trust that stuff. Took me a minute which platform you're reading from. All the YouTube, X, and Facebook comments come from here. Unfortunately, I don't know how to get TikTok to come to here, but hopefully they can help me with that one day. Patricia's Pizza. Only pizza place I ate at, Parlor at 7th and Park Place. Okay. What are your thoughts on us? Okay, here's a football question. Let's get back to football. What are your thoughts on us possibly getting Brandon Ayuk? Little to none. That seems like an uphill achievement. Love NY was married there. Nice. He was talking about wanting to come to KC and asking KC to give him a chance. Everyone wants to come to KC until they see how much salary cap room they have. Chiefs fans all over the desert. Trust me, we rep strong. Nice. Yeah, Kevin Harlan. So because you're at a sports bar, you can't hear that stuff. I was at a sports bar in Mexico for the game when Kadarius Toney was offside. I know we alluded to that earlier on the live stream. They were reviewing a play. I can't remember what play it was they were reviewing, but it was taking a really long time. And on the screen, you could see they have Gene Sterator's picture and they put his nameplate on the screen while he's talking, but I can't hear shit because sports bars are loud and noisy. So I quickly went on social media. I'm like, what the hell is Gene saying? Because I can't hear anything. Don't eat pizza. Wrong there. You will get mugged. Yeah, I've heard about the stereotypical dangerous New York, which kind of scares me because given like how close I am to the Empire State Building and Times Square, I would prefer to walk instead of get a cab. Because I mean, listen, walking is more enjoyable and more fun than getting in a cab. Plus, I would imagine even for like a really short distance in New York City is probably like unreasonably, I shouldn't say unreasonably. It's going to cost you a lot of money because of the traffic, I would imagine. So I don't know, man. I prefer to walk. So hopefully I don't get mugged while I'm there for 4 days. Whoever we get a wide receiver needs to be durable. Too many missed out of that position lately. That's a valid point. Tatalio 2 says they really are. I went to see Kendrick there. They were so accommodating. Allegiant. Yeah. That's refreshing. That's refreshing for sure. And listen, I kind of get this vibe that a lot of people get nervous working at stadiums because they deal with drunk idiots and whatnot. So I don't know. Are there any updates on the live show? Oh man, we almost went the entire live stream without you guys asking that. I love that you guys are asking this because this shows you guys are really, really interested. There's one company I'm talking to, and we're working on it. There are a couple other people who I've been talking to as well about doing it at their venue. Dude, let me just say something. When I put that post out there to see if you guys would be interested in attending a live podcast show with special guests, dude, I got contacted by some people that, you know, we're talking about hosting and whatnot. Here's my thing. This is brand new to me. And I'm one of those people, like, I don't want to be like, well, I gotta do it one time and learn from it. No, like, I want to have an A+ show for you guys to attend the first time we do it. Maybe we only do it once. Maybe we do it more than once. I don't know. It would be a ticketed event to where you would have to pay. I don't know what the price will be exactly, but I would definitely make it to where it's worth it. Because here's my ideal way of doing things. We would do a show for about 30 minutes on stage, and 30 minutes goes by real fast. Then after that, the special guests, which would more than likely be former players, they stick around for an hour, and we give everyone in attendance that 1 hour to get pictures and autographs from those in attendance. Now, that's way easier said than done. Way easier said than done. But there's a lot. Titilio. Okay, thank you. My bad. Brad means mugged for eating pizza. Oh, okay. Gotcha. My bad. No, oh, fork? Fuck that. Hold on. Who the hell eats pizza with a fork? Ask Clark Hunt to do it at Arrowhead. That'd be an interesting show. Yeah, I don't think that many people would come out. But seriously, the fact that every single podcast you guys ask about the live show, that truly means a lot. And let me just say, the group I'm talking to, that there's a good possibility we'll do a live podcast with them. They're very well aware of how interested you guys are. They saw the post I made, and I showed them the live stream where you guys were asking questions. They are very much aware of you guys wanting this to happen. My goal is, and some things are not within my control, I want to get the word out as fast as possible, because some of you guys have said that you guys would be willing to travel to attend this event, which seriously means a lot. I know, again, that's easier said than done for you guys, but because of things like that, because not everyone listening and watching, they're from Kansas City, I would want to get the word out as early as possible so you guys can plan ahead if you guys do want to travel for this event. I will say this, and maybe I'm saying more than I should be saying. I would bet good money that I think we can do 2 shows this offseason. Two live podcast shows. I think we are capable of that. I wish I could give you guys more, but right now I don't want to get myself in trouble. So we're working on it. Short answer to a great question. We're working on it. Okay. That'd be awesome. Yeah. I know a girl who eats pizza with a fork. She's from NY. It's so embarrassing. Yeah. Get a new bar or restaurant. They will appreciate the business. Certainly. I can see the logic in that. Because the idea is you guys buy a ticket. Again, would be probably give or take $100. Just throwing a ballpark number out there. Because your ticket would give you an opportunity to meet hopefully 3, 4, at least 5 former Chiefs. And they would, I mean, these would be very notable guys for sure. You guys would be able to watch a show, take pictures, get autographs from them, and then also buy food and drinks while you're there. That kind of thing. Okay. Some of you guys have actually said you want to reach out to me about a live show. Okay, let me just say this right now. Because I've seen a couple of people say this, and I'm always hesitant to reach out to commenters. Obviously, my DMs are closed, but if you actually are a bar owner and you do want to reach out regarding this, email me thechiefzone@gmail.com. Just thechiefzone@gmail.com. This is for those who, if you own a bar, manage a bar, or know someone that would be interested in this, that's for something like that. If that is something you're interested in, let me know, because I've had a couple people reach out. I don't click on people's profiles to see if they really do own a bar or manage a restaurant or whatever, because I don't have time to go through someone's profile. But excuse me, if you are interested, that's the best way to get a hold of me. thechiefzone@gmail.com. I walked around Central Park area, 5th Street, 5 days straight, never had a single issue. Street vendors are overly priced. That is what I've heard. That is, I guess that's the that is New York City for you. So I'll be able to experience that myself. All right. I'm going to get out of here, guys. I appreciate you all. If you live in Kansas City or the surrounding areas, be safe, stay safe. It is going to be very cold, and I guess some of us are going to be getting an avalanche here in the next couple of days. So get your food, stock up, do what you need to do. And we're going to probably not do a live stream this weekend, but we'll be back on Monday night, 6 p.m. Central Time. Join me for that. And we'll be talking about hopefully some updated Chiefs news by then. Otherwise, you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Be safe. I will talk to you all next week. Take care.